In the North, stories don't disappear. They bury themselves in the dirt. What you're about to hear might be fact, might be folklore. You decide. Fort McMurray, Alberta, spring of 2018, edge of the wild. A local couple, Sarah and James, had been through it all, losing their home in 2016. Watching the sky turn the color of copper, leaving everything behind in a single afternoon. Here's a photo of the actual fire in Fort Mac. They returned after the fire, not the same, but determined to rebuild what they could. James stayed with the same contracting company up at site. Steady work, long shifts, enough to keep things going. Sarah took a job at a local bakery, small, busy, and always smelling of fresh baked bread and coffee. On James's weeks off, they'd head out past the city limits, back towards the place the fire had scarred. The silence out there felt more different, like the land was still catching up. This was their first hike back since the fire. The trails once busy with quads, bikes, and hikers were gone. What used to be thick forest now felt open, exposed, pockets of regrowth pushing through the ruins. They spotted where the old path used to begin, laughing and talking as they followed it in. So entranced in their conversation, admiring how fast the new growth was coming in, they barely noticed when the ground beneath them changed. What used to be thick forest now felt open, exposed, just pockets of regrowth pushing through the ruin. James stopped. Something caught his eye, a faint shimmer poking out of the dirt. He crouched down, brushed the ground, the edge of the middle, winked back. Sarah questioned, maybe from an old homestead or mining gear? Fort Mac's history ran deep. Natives, trappers, traders, prospectors, all leaving ghosts of iron and stone behind. Together they cleared more soil with their hands. The shape grew even clearer. Square, heavy, solid. It's a dial, James said. A safe dial, a relic sealed tight. The extraction. The safe was big, too big to move with bare hands. They tried rocking it side to side, but it was sunk in deep. Roots and earth holding tight. Sarah laughed. I guess we're not walking this out. James nodded. James dropped a pin on his phone. We'll come back, he said, with help. A week later, they did. James hit up two coworkers, Trent and Alex. Trent, who's a bushman, had rigged up a pulley system out of ropes, a winch, and his truck. The three of them set to work, inch by inch. The safe resisted, buried deep, roots and earth clinging tightly. Eventually it gave way, groaning as it wrenched free. Finally it had broken free. They stood for a moment, breathing hard and staring at it. The dial locked in place, they loaded it carefully onto the truck. A relic from another time. They hauled it back through the burn, truck bouncing over ruts and roots. The safe clanged in the bed with every turn. Arriving at James's house, they pulled into the garage, slid the safe onto the concrete, wiped off whatever dirt and soot was left clinging to it. They took a few photos of it, nothing fancy, just proof it was real. It was late, a long day of removing the safe. They called it a night. A few days later, the four met up at the bakery, coffee and cinnamon buns. Sarah let them know that the safe restorer was coming. The next day, they met at Sarah and James's house. The safe man arrived with his tools, and after some careful work, he managed to crack it open. Inside laid a tarnished compass, folded maps, few bills with coins, a vial of gold flakes, a set of old skeleton keys, and letters tied with worn string. Beneath it all, legal documents, stamped and signed by someone. The man who opened up the safe asked where did it come from. They told him everything. Alex and Trent stayed only until the paperwork came out. No instant riches, no thrill left for them, so they headed home. The other three continued looking over the papers. A couple of weeks passed since the reveal. Trent hasn't seen James at work all week. He decided to stop by the bakery to see how James was doing. Sarah said he was fine. He'd gone to Edmonton to dig deeper into the names on the ledger. The names appeared to belong to a small early exploration party, and the compass had some initials encarved in it. James and Sarah left Fort Mac shortly after he returned, took a transfer to another site. Trent asked what he found, but he never revealed it. James and Sarah already lost everything once to a fire, but whatever he read in those documents was heavy enough to make him leave again, and this time he never came back.